What's good, casters? Plus Master here. Welcome back to Shiny Ho Ho TCG. Happy to bring you guys a new series on the show. It's going to be Casters of the Roundtable, and make sure you guys check the link and go watch the whole video on MetaZoo Empire and subscribe to that channel. We're going to have more videos on there. And then I'll be doing little edits of the video to make it shorter so people see it, and then go watch the whole video because you're going to miss stuff even if you watch some of my videos that I edited for it, so that you would, when you watch the video, you actually learn more things about the discussion and stuff like that. And we're looking to, hopefully, it looks like we're going to be consistent once a week. So hopefully next Friday we'll have some more videos, and next week, if you're subscribed to them, you'll see the new one that we're going to be doing today, this Friday. So make sure you guys go check that out. Thank you guys so much for clicking on the video, liking and subscribing to the channel. Thank you, Brandon Casella, for being a Patreon. And let's get it, you guys. We got some great videos coming out, and I think we're really gonna be putting together something great for everybody to be a part of and stuff like that. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys subscribe so you can stay up to date with everything that we're doing.
All right, we're back on.
If you guys want to say hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello, everybody.
Hey,
welcome to the Casters Roundtable.
Yes, welcome Casters Roundtable. We got us, the Jersey Devils. We've got KSB from the ludicrous lands of Loveland. Chilling in Jersey, I presume.
Yep.
Yes, sir. And then we have our boy Cobra Kai. Kyle, he's our dark guy on Jersey Devils. And of course, we also have Easton, the first place Caster Cup champion. Yeah, so how's everyone doing? Everyone's doing good. We're all excited for the UFO drop.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm pretty excited for UFO. I'm kind of nervous to see what comes next after Caster's Cup.
Dude. We were talking about it.
The Forest Elemental I'm excited for.
That's going to be really cool for fearsome critters and stuff like that. And then we said earlier, because we already did a little recording before this, that my opinion, Cosmic Light, they're coming out with so much support for it. We're getting the we have the Alien Sigil, which doubles the Terra bonuses. I was experimenting with a deck earlier. I had a Dragon of Alcanto Falls out with 280 swinging. It was pretty
with the sigils.
It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. And then you run Menehune, all that fun stuff. We're also wondering about, I don't know if anyone else caught it at the tournament when we were all wearing our caster what do you call
lanyards.
The band lanyards, and it had all the Cryptid Nation, then you had all the wilderness, and then right below it had
what do you guys think about the yokai?
The yokai they were teased. They teased a yokai at the very end on the badges.
It's a little raccoon dog.
He's cool looking, right?
I want him.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I actually have him right here for
For
Cam.
the next block, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This little guy.
Yep, there he is.
Oh, you're so cute.
Right? He's cute.
Him.
He's cool, dude.
I need all of them, please and thank you.
Yokais, they're gonna be cool. We know that we're thinking that they're gonna be the wind archetype, obviously. And,
Right.
And we're thinking, okay, so wind, in my opinion, we kind of touched on this in the last video or the last recording little thing we did, but I think wind's going to have an advantage to fire, and then fire's going to have an advantage to wind. They're going to do 22 to each other, kind of like how light and dark have. That's my guess. And then also maybe either to lightning they might have an advantage, or to earth. Those are my thoughts about what it's going to be good at.
I think it's going to counter Cosmic.
No way, bro.
Because I think that they would make neutral the type that doesn't have any counters to it.
I doubt it. I don't know.
Wind could boost the rain Terra, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
They could, like, a lot of wind could benefit from rain, maybe, and lightning, something like that.
I think wind is going to be an enabler. I think that it'll be an enabler in a sense, because wind kind of always, even with all the I guess take in terms of like a biological standpoint, because I think that Kevin, like whenever he talks about stuff, like if you ever get a chance to listen to Kevin, he doesn't do it nearly as much because he's been so busy, but he talks about how like he crafts like the sets and the different cards, and he thinks about it in a biological sense. So wind is more of an enabler of a lot of different aura types, and also like
that makes sense because he's been trying to push multicolor a lot.
exactly.
That's true.
I think that's what wind will be, because it'll be a perfect time, because by that time you'll have all the mini sets that have come along, because we're supposed to get another Chibi mini set.
Right.
We're supposed to get Seance, UFO, and that'll be war. That'll fill in all the bait. Like that'll be a really good base for all of the different aura types that are. Pretty much everything should be filled in. Like Earth should get a number of smaller beasties to kind of fill in their holes,
and things
all that. So I think that it'll be an enabler. It'll help you connect multiple aura types together, because right now you don't really get that. You don't have that right now, and I think that in a biological standpoint, you need maybe one aura type to be to everything else.
And that makes sense. Wind carrying things to all the different aura types as well. You know, like when sand gets buffeted on rocks, it breaks down, and you go everywhere with it, right?
I think it'll be an enabler.
Definitely. Kind of like how Spirit's sort of the support deck. Although Spirit's interesting.
Okay,
There's a lot of hidden sauce in Spirit.
Spirit and Dark is going to be a thing in Sounds.
It has to be.
Right.
Has to be. Right. It's like the perfect set for it. At first, I thought it was going to be Nightfall, like leading into Nightfall. And they did, it was like Rock and Dark, right? So then I was like, all right, Sans has to be it. Or one was called Ouija prior. Mm-hmm. Like that's the set where like I feel Spirit is finally going to shine.
I think also we'll probably do some talking about UFO, because I think now with them saying Roswell is where the release event is going to be and stuff like that, I think that everybody's going to be kind of super stoked, because I mean the cards just look dope. Like the one I didn't get to see many of the cards that were like spoiled during Top 32, but whatever they were talking about was like dope. Like the Area 51 card, the freaking Token Corrosion. That's a cool card. Like
Explosion. I love Black Knight's Satellite, because I mean we're getting Mechs and MetaZoo.
We're
getting Mechs and MetaZoo.
My favorite stuff: Forest Elemental to support Fearsome and Sasquatch.
That is pretty gnarly.
We're gonna see some Exodia stuff, man.
Well, I mean, because if you have Gumboos on the board, then you just really have to worry about the spells to protect your Forest Elemental, because Gumbo is just going to block everything.
I mean, you can easily kill it still.
You can still kill it, yeah.
So with the Area 51, right? The new mushroom, the Forest Elemental will make it so your guys don't get status condition. So Forest might see some play. I think there might be a Forest Cosmic. So we really got to see some of the cards. They're withholding.
No, but it's from opposing. It's from opposing beasties, not Terra. So it's basically a hard count. This is my only issue with there being so much hate for Level and Lockdown. Is that because we've seen quite a bit of the cards become very popular to stop water from being
Hateful Demise,
Weeping Black Angel.
Stop with this hate.
That's our water player, by the way.
So I'm as somebody who started with water, I see that this it become like we can tell that the R&D, they're very reactive in that sense, and that's a fair assessment. So I think that are we going to see an overcorrection to where now you have Forest Elemental, which is a clear another option for Forest to stop leveling. You're going to see more cards to stop that. I mean, I'm just assuming you saw Anti-Potion, which was really a stop for any level of lockdown deck. Are we going to see an overcorrection?
I lost literally to 30 damage 3 times in a row, man.
I can see them probably I see where you're coming from, Isu, when it comes to overkilling it, but I feel like you have to take care of the first meta to move forward too. And in some regards, Caster Cup proved that fraud can definitely be checked. the room was lightning, cosmic, and like some water players, me being one of them. Um, but now, like seeing that Caster Cup was just all lightning, and then you can see the market of Quets going up as well. There might be a chance that, like with Seance and even stuff that we haven't seen yet, like there is going to be answers to lightning too, to keep everything balanced.
Yeah.
Well, they'll also think about it like this. I think Cosmic actually does have a favorable matchup into Lightning. I might have misplayed on my days, but I know that if you have Jellyfish and Aerods, you're not too worried about Hornets. Quets you can deal with even if you splash Hateful Demise. I don't even have to do that. I could just run my abduction.
I
run my
like,
abduction.
Or you can even do transfiguration.
Lightning's way more handleable than Frog was, because not a lot of decks had an out to Frog.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you could always one off the mistletoe. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was really proven at Caster Society, splashing in stuff to deal with what the meta was.
Very
That's
beneficial.
what you have Prism Aura and you have Hateful Demise, or you have if you're worried about burrow units, you can throw out one off of Earthquake. If you're worried about anything with traits, Hateful Demise. You can run Growth in your side deck. You can do all these things, and it's very possible with these really cheap, really high effective spells to really make your deck competitive, and no matter what you're playing against, almost as long as you have a good enough base. So with Lightning, what are you really scared of? You're scared of Quets, you're scared of Hornets. They're probably running Car, which
is kind of annoying.
Well,
Thunderbird I'm not really scared of. I'm scared of when it has its Terra bonus and it starts swinging and awakening.
Right.
So Lightning I think is very, very threatening when it has its Terra, and if they have anti-potion, I'm kind of screwed if I'm running water.
Well, yeah. But then you also have to think
Hornets
about...
is the MVP. Hornets is the MVP in that matchup. You play it turn 1, and you pretty much they have to figure out how to handle those at least 2 of the 3 Hornets to really throw off your matchup. And then in the mirror matchup, it's if I can get my Quets out on turn 2, if I have a Lightning Glass or a Lightning Shard, and then
Shock or something.
Or if I
Kryptonation.
realize I can Kryptonation into Quets on turn 2, you pretty much win. You almost win because I can take out any Orphax you have with relative ease. I can handle any of your. I can kill off your ball lightning. I think that lightning is almost better in that sense, and then it probably has the best aura fixing in the game with shock aura. I mean that's
and lightning ball.
And you can lightning bolt, shock. You can lightning split. It was to me that the reason why I switched was I felt like water. I was gonna play water because I tested Bandage Man and into Hornets. It's pretty damn good. Like you play Bandage Man, you pretty much can create a wall around your frog, around an Aurafact, around anything, and you pretty much set up. But I was like, do I really want to continue to play a 60-40 matchup with water into lightning where I felt stronger with, I knew that lightning was going to be played heavy, and if I splash in dart for Hateful Demise, I can hit around 80% of the field. I could hit crabs, I could hit Manta Ray, I hit everything in water except for Chessie. I hit everything in lightning except for everything in lightning. Phantom Car or make ball lightning, but outside of that, in my mind, I'm like, okay, you can Witch's Lightning and give it first strike and then kill it with Hateful Demise because you can give it another.
Even that,
I have to ask, what do you think of Water Dark?
Water Dark I think is the next. I think water for the counter spells. I think now that you're getting into an era of MetaZoo where the spells matter, the spell
Necromancy.
Oh my gosh!
We already have a spell engine.
No,
If you want to check that out,
because Kai was telling me about Bunny Man with Frog. Oh my.
It's nuts because the thing is in my mind I'm like, if I can recur my bomb more times than you can, and that's what made Feign Death really good in water, because I can get back my frog more times than you can, and if I can have more outs to get rid of frog, that's why Copy Cup was so good, because I had an extra lightning in a bottle in the back pocket. So I think that now water will be heavily splashable because you can dampen will be way more valuable. Reflection far more valuable. especially with so many people playing Power Bread. Like there was a Power Bread died off a little bit, but came back super strong during Caster Cup.
Yeah.
It did.
So I think that'll be a. I'm interested.
Well, that's why I was running.
That would
two
be
of
so
Void
mean.
Spell, bro. I was running two of a Void Spell because I was like FAC and Power Up Red or like every deck, and then if I ran into multicolor stuff, I could do it to your Aura Prowess. It was just Void Spell is such a good card, and I feel like a lot of people slept on it because of the bookmarking effect. So you couldn't use it on Absorb Aura or the new beginning set or the bookmarks and stuff.
Bookmark.
But it's still a really good card, and I felt like running a one-off of Void Spell and a one-off of Dampen was all the counters I needed really to deal with any situation I was coming across. If you have your nasty specific color spell, whatever it be it Split Lightning or a Tidal Pool I really don't want you to get off, or a Dark Death Beam or anything like that. That would be my Dampen, and then when you Power Red or you FAC and try to get rid of my Fresnos or my Spirits or my Flyers or any of it, I would have my Void Spell ready for you. And I'd be so much more plus because you spent 3, I spent 1. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Tempo is there. I also think that it's gonna be more of a I don't know if every aura type has a 0-drop potion now. I think so.
Yeah.
Cosmic has one?
I think
Cosmic has one. It's
Oh, wait,
the
Brain and Jar.
Brain and
Brain and
Jar.
Jar. Brain and Jar.
Oh, Brain and Jar. Okay.
That card will be good.
Potion.
Yeah, so I think almost every
Toxic water. I'm stupid.
What was that?
I think every aura type will have a 0-drop potion, so I think that it would make more sense for them to probably start adding more into the neutral spot, and I think that's where the value of Void Spell will become more valuable, because now you don't have your 0-drop. Because the only problem with 0-drop spell or potions is the fact that, Bubbling Brew, you get type advantage, so on if you're going into Fearsome Critters, so it's kind of unfair. Like, you're burning them, you're doing 25 damage to it. And then Toxic Water enables TR, and I think that deck is probably going to be the more hated deck. I think that they're going to have to stop, because you can OTK, and from talking to Kevin in terms of like these like one-off like random sessions that he'll talk about, like how he builds cards.
Yeah.
He doesn't want OTKs because you don't get to interact. Like you can, if you go turn 1 with the TR boil over Gasy deck, you can pretty much exterminate your opponent by turn. By your turn, in one turn, and then also a bunch of hand hate. That's why you don't get outside of Sam Sinclair, which I don't think that they were involved in creating Sam Sinclair in Salem Witches. There's not a lot of discard cards, so they want a lot of interaction, and so I think that we're gonna start seeing a lot more interesting cards in the neutral spot. In the neutral aura spots, you're gonna start seeing like the Token Corrosion. You're gonna start seeing more stuff like that, and so that's why. Because at first I was like, well, Void Spell only hits a couple of cards that are being heavily played, but I think that now, since you have all the potions taken care of for each aura type, now they're gonna move more of that stuff into the neutral stuff.
I agree. And it's already like another game within a game when you're talking about potions. Are they running the anti-potion? Did they side out all their anti-potions for Smokies or Lightning in the bottles? And it's a whole level of, besides the Void Spell and the Dampen, when you're talking about, spell on spell interaction, and now you have potion on potion interaction, and then you have beastie on beastie interaction, and now you're getting into expanding more of that almost warfare in between the players.
It's starting to feel a lot like chess now.
Yeah, very a little bit like chess, right? Yeah. Well, that's how a good TCG should feel.
Yeah, you're getting more, and then right now we have 11 aura types. So it's I think also how we can I guess we can look at what Wilderness did for Forest. How you would think that Wilderness would be heavily into Fearsome Critters, but it completely added in another archetype and made it more mid-rangey. I think that it's going to do the same thing for Cosmic, in that sense, where you're not going to get the traditional Cosmic where it's going to be almost Fearsome Critters 2.0. You'll probably see a lot bigger beasties.
More of a control style. We're
Yeah.
getting the black hole. We're getting the AoE.
Yeah, oh.
Send everything to the
Yeah, dark hole.
card. Super excited for that. Me and Chris from the Dueling Brothers, I've already teased it on one of our other videos, but we're going to be doing a Cosmic Gasy sort of control list with River and Pascal. That's going to be that's the initial idea. We're going to be trying
Cosmic
to
Dark with Gassy.
Cosmic Dark with Gasy, maybe. We're going to check it out, but I'm really excited
Gassy,
because of these.
I am wondering
Necromancy with two Gassies.
But definitely, I think there's still stuff. There's still weird cosmic stuff that hasn't been explored even with this current set before UFO that I'm really excited to try. Like I said, I'm really all over the cosmic light, the cosmic dark stuff right now, and cosmic water. Those are my top three. I even have a cosmic ground, cosmic earth deck idea I've got going on. I'm trying to mix them all. You know what I mean? Get an archetype mixed in.
I can understand why more people weren't playing Cosmic Light. Like I felt like you could boost aura it. Like you could play you could play schmooze with a whole bunch of like one drop like light stuff, and you could really and then just boost aura and then really kind of like run amok with it. I felt like it was really really good in that sense.
It's a really effective deck. And considering how much, because we knew that there was going to be water, lightning, and cosmic. We knew that it was just a staple fact that was going to be played in the tournament matchups where they had a pretty good basis, but they didn't really know the proper way to execute versus a lot of their matchups. And I felt like that was a shame because we could have seen Cosmic perform a bit better in the tournament, considering the amount of lightning players running around. And I felt like a Cosmic does have like at least a 60-40, 70-30 into lightning, a pretty good matchup. And then versus water, that's your, I give that to water in the give that to water in the 60-40 range. If I kill you fast enough, probably, I don't know.
I felt barely getting by.
I feel like it was a tougher matchup for water than it was for lightning. In my
You're
lucky I didn't get up there.
I think the main reason people didn't play Cosmic Lightning, Light, is because everyone thought Water was going to be the format, and Lightning has a better matchup than choosing that one, Cosmic Light. That's why I think people just went Lightning. It just has a better matchup.
I think everybody was trying to hate against Water, and then it was like, Hornets did well. The meta shifted after the second extravaganza, and you saw Cosmic Liam's Cosmic deck and Isaac's Hornets deck.
Yep.
You see everybody started to play way like I just saw like the LGSs and everything like that. Way more people started playing more Lightning and stuff like that, and then I also saw way more Cosmic. I told them, I was like, I probably wouldn't even play that then because I think that more people were going to go into that tournament probably running Water if they played it.
Yeah, fun fact, the meta in California is actually Cosmic.
It's all Cosmic over here.
Yeah.
I run
Okay.
Water, 'cause I'm like,
well, that's what we found really interesting. When we came to Texas, they were telling us, everyone runs Aurifax here and everyone runs Water here.
Oh, we don't run Aurifax.
And over here, nobody really runs Aurifax that much unless you're playing like the Lightning deck.
Yeah, the East Coast, we practically dropped that like almost immediately because like I started running like 4 Absorbor and just eating boards for free. And people were like, "All right, no more artifacts for you." So that's how it is at Cards to Go.
We ran 2 out here. It was 2,
we
and
were
then you
running
had
2.
I would Fresno, and I would drop and kill an Aurifact, and then at that point they lost a card, and I was up 1, but. I'm still up in the air with the whole Aurifax and not running Aurifax.
Well, you could also run your Aurifax, kind of like how with Lightning you can run your Aurifax with your Absorb Aura together.
Yeah.
So even if your opponent is running an Aurifax, you can go, screw it, I can just
Absorb Aura that, or you can do it to yourself too.
But which Void spell stopped Absorb Aura? Then people definitely
play Menehune or Menehune, whatever.
Menehune, yeah.
Turn 2, you could set your Aurifax down, bring him out, Lightning in a bottle, and send him into your Afterlife. Destroy your After you've absorbed your aura effect, you can send them into your what do you call it, limbo,
Yeah.
and then you can bring back your aura effect, awaken, which would give you
2 more extra mana.
or it could be 3 if you're running a chaos crystal.
Well, yeah, or it could be 3 too if you're running the Chaos Crystal. So you turn 1, you Chaos Crystal, and then you do your whole thing.
How do you?
for
I'm sorry. How do you recur the aura effect?
So
through Menahune.
Man,
He brings it back in with Fleet. That's why.
Yeah. So you're able to tap. I have 4 mana. 2 of it goes to Menahune, a lightning in a bottle, or absorb aura. You get the 1 extra of whatever color. So you're already at 5 mana, and then you're resummoning your crystal, and then now you're at 8 mana on turn 2, and that's all kind of fun business, right? If you have the Dream God Hand, right?
Yeah, if you got the grip.
Yeah, then Menahune.
There's no reason to play Metahune. Like, I hate the Ocean Terror bonuses. There's only like 2 of them.
That is really weird. I don't know. Maybe there's something there with the ocean deck that we don't know yet.
yeah,
Menahune
trap
Ocean
there.
in
You can
ocean
have more
is
ocean
nice, but
cards,
the first trap is 1 or less for open ocean.
Yeah.
Like it'll.
Yeah. Probably in the future, it'll probably be a lot more useful. I have a feeling.
I think they've set up a lot of cards as preparation counter cards for when they drop new metas, and like suddenly the fog deck is meta, and this card specifically targets creatures with fog. Like they've set cards, and I've seen that they've set cards in there, kind of in place.
I really think they should just be focusing on the meta right now.
Well, okay. And I was also
Well,
thinking.
I think they do. I think they listen to everybody, and like whenever they said, "Oh, water's good," they said, "We'll nerf it in wilderness, and we're going to nerf it again, and hopefully that'll like stamp it out, and we'll also add in more cards for other aura types." And I think that they do that because before Cryptid Nation, I like to look at all the old tournament reports, and so the first tournaments that were won were all Quets and Fearsome Critters. Like until Nightfall, water wasn't a thing, and then it's like, oh, Frogman is not it has magic proof, and you can still affect it with potions. This is broken, so then it started to transpire from there. It never. Whenever I first played and kind of built out water, it was only to counter Quets because I was like, I hate Quets, and everybody's running Quets. Let's figure out a way.
All my water boys hate Quest. On my mama.
I'm telling you, I thought to myself, I'm like, if I can count how many they have, 4 threats essentially with all the Quets. So if I lightning a bottle, you can get rid of 4 Quets effectively from the board. Yeah. So that's a win. You beat lightning. And so, but Fearsome Critters, like the first 2 online tournaments, I think Quets end up winning, and that's back when people were playing like Balancing Beam and like Peaceful was playing, and it was like some shenanigans. But water wasn't a thing, and then once Nightfall came in, then it became a little bit more relevant, and then Nightfall. I just think that they're listening to the players. I think that they are seeing like, okay, well, we're seeing a lot of hate this way, or we're seeing a oversaturation of this deck in the meta. Let's fix this. But I do think that now if you're gonna weaken a deck, you need to give it also another out of winning,
another play style.
A style.
Something else.
Yeah, if you're not gonna let leveling lockdown be a thing anymore, then give it another way of it being very good. And I mean, I don't want it to be me personally. I don't want it to be TR because TR can also get to where it doesn't interact with other. You don't get to interact, and I think that's what I like about MetaZoo is personally that. For the most part, every deck interacts with. There's no magical sign, OTK. There's no like. You mean
even though Napa exists, it's not even that big of a threat.
No, yeah, like the only OTK I've really ever gotten, and I was like, that wasn't fair. Was like I had a Kinderhook blob with Power Up Red.
Oh my god, that casual match.
And I had like 2 air rods and 2 lightning in a bottle, so that just boom, 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 and that thing just killed him. But.
You know what
he could have had anti-potion, right? That was like the whole thing.
You know what I'm scared of is a Gasy Torrential River deck. Because as soon as they have that Gasy secured, it's kind of game.
It's kind of,
And if you pass turn, it's kind of GG.
I don't know. Certain decks have removals like light, though. I'll just banish your Gashy.
Yeah, but what if you don't?
Yeah, you're just trying to paralyze the block.
What if they dampen your banish?
Well, for instance,
or they can even reflect it.
Whenever I face Gasy decks, I'll wait until they summon Gasy, and then I'll banish it on their turn.
Yeah, or like if you use Rest in Peace, like that's another. Just banish it from its cemetery, so they can't bring it back.
Or you can also splash in Spirit. There's a card that banishes cards from their cemetery, so you could just get
rest in peace.
That's
what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, that's what
every deck, right? Every deck has an answer. That's
do
what.
you see how far you have to go into thinking about like, okay, these are options to finally get rid of like Gashy OTK, and in reality, they could just dampen your rest in. Because by turn 2,
that's what I'm saying. Well, you can also put the light metal out to where they can't use spells on your turn.
That's a pretty cool card.
Yeah, it is a pretty card. I like it. I'm just saying, I literally saw, and I've done it to where on turn 3, I go turn 1, turn 2, my opponent goes in turn 3. I win with boil overs and TR. And I was saying, like, I personally feel like if that's probably going to garner a lot of attention from players because it's
people like making no boom.
Yep.
Yeah, and it doesn't have a lot of interaction needed to go off. Like, I don't really care about what you do. Like, okay, now if you do play the gold amulet or whatever that card, or maybe the rest in peace, I might have to handle those situations, but also granted, I have to have those for rest in peace. I have to have those cards in my cemetery for it to actually be useful. So I would have to already have gotten a TR, and by that time, you play a TR, the turn gets to play an Aurifact, deal 30, draw a card. Play a Toxic Water, deal 30, draw a card, and then you know what I mean. It gets to a point where eventually, if they do, it gets to a point where if you do play a TR, you substantially increase their odds of winning. It's like when
because you get to refresh your hand every time.
Official Critters gets a New Year's New Beginnings and a growth or one or the other. Their chances go up dramatically. Like it's like 60%, then it goes up to 80% with a growth or a New Year's New Beginnings, and the other one is like 98.
Yeah.
So
you're pretty much set at that point, right? And if you get one into the other, you're more than set.
That's why I'm scared of Trench River, man.
Trench River is it's a scary
sneaky card.
Well, because in Magic the Storm decks are also very scary, a very cool concept that MetaZoo nailed with their Torrential River. They absolutely nailed the concept of, all right, it's late game. Oh, it's not even late game nowadays.
Turn 3.
Turn 3 with it. Like, here's 30 damage, I draw everything, and I wipe your board, and now I've won the board state. And in MetaZoo, I feel like, well, hopefully this is going to change a little bit, considering everyone's going to get their own board wipe. That's what I'm thinking we're going into. Everything's going to get a board wipe.
Especially war coming out.
I mean, you
still got to get to 5, it seems like.
Right,
but the thing I like the most against Gasy is literally just Paralyze. The card Paralyze.
Oh, the card Paralyze, yeah.
You can shut them down with Paralyze.
Yeah.
Make it so they can't do anything, and then hopefully you can drop something that will kill it the following turn. It does require a lot, but they also have to have the Gasy. So I usually just stack my hand and try to prevent like a New Year's New Beginning going off, and hold some Paralyze or turn based on their stuff. That's gonna shut down the Gasy for one turn.
Yeah.
And then if you really have to kill it the following turn, because once it's not paralyzed, they're gonna just Torrential River and kill whatever you just played.
Yeah.
So
you're kind of SOL.
That's why I'm
but
like.
That's the most effective way I've found to deal with it, honestly.
I've never really had Cosmic is a pretty simple engine, right? So if they ever get to a Gasy, I usually have enough of a board state and an abduction on the way because I run my 2 Terras because Flood the Earth sucks, man. Oh my gosh. That was why I also ran the 2 Terras. I wanted if my stars got knocked out, it's a big part of my deck, and I want to still enable my abductions. I don't want those to be dead cards, and I'm not feeling like running Transfiguration because Power Up Red and all that business. So, Flood the Earth is just such a powerful counter to it.
If they see your face, then I'll flood the Earth next turn.
Yeah.
I think what they're talking about with that deck is like Houston said, it doesn't care about interaction.
It doesn't care about interaction because by turn 3 you can't do anything. Like hopefully I get my stars and my abduction so I could try to abduct your Gasy, or my paralyze.
Like,
but you don't.
I was like, sorry.
No,
I was gonna say, I was playing Chessie Turbo for a bit, and like I would be winning constantly, like just even playtesting. And I think the comment that got to me was like a good friend of mine was just like, "Oh wow, that was fun." Like it's serious too, like very dry. And I was like, "Oh, okay, not this again. Like I'm getting rid of this. I'll play something a little bit more degen, I guess." Like fraud.
Yes,
I love it.
Yeah, like just to get away from that Chessie Turbo because there's no interaction. And the reason I played MetaZoo was because of the interaction. I came from Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's like, oh, do you have the Ash? Okay, no, okay, like I'm going off. It's like, oh, no Nibiru, cool. Try to break my board. You can't. I win.
Okay.
And it's just like, all right, cool.
I'm gonna draw my deck. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Until I get my Ash Blossom.
And I think Kevin is trying, and the R&D team are trying to do that, but I
pray that they never get hand traps. That's my thing, because that's what
I don't think it will be. I don't think it'll ever be that way, but I think that what is going to happen, and this is just me speculating, is that you will always have to keep your eye on Cryptic Nation because it wasn't the same R&D team, and that being a huge piece that it will always come back and like rear its ugly head in these big tournaments, because you could basically like the meta can be defined based off of these new sets. So for the most part right now it's pretty cohesive from Nightfall, Wilderness, and I'm assuming UFO because it's the same team. But I can always go back. Like I tell people, I think that Man-Check Swamp Priestess, one day we won't be thinking about it, and it's gonna some OTK that it will happen, and it's only a card or two away. It's really only a card or two away because it's kind of broken. Like it makes it out.
I'm trying so hard. We need to start searching.
It's nothing. It's nothing right now. Like there's no way you could really get it to really mobilize. I think a lot of people have tried, but it's a couple of cards away where you don't think about it, and then you're like, you put this together, you basically win.
100% with the zombie.
So my idea right now, I'm trying to make Dark Forest because of the Swamp Priestess, and I'm using the Spiderling tokens.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's what I'm trying to do to activate that machine gun. And sometimes what I'll do is, what do you call it?
The biggest problem I've been noticing in when we were playtesting versus my Cosmic deck,
it was just trying to get that out.
You couldn't get it out fast enough. By the time he got out the Spiderling tokens, I had enough with Jellyfish and Lizard people and Fresnos I popped your token. Okay, now I pop and I kill all your Spiderlings. I don't have to worry about Swamp Priestess doing anything gnarly to me.
But that's the thing is Dark's not fast enough right now. But in Seance, it's probably going to be faster.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not thinking about it right now.
But it's going to be in the future when it
I'm
goes.
saying that you always are going to have to go back to Cryptic Nation and be like, is this going to really pop off? Because it's the same thing with Gashy. Like the only. At first, I was like, "Oh, they didn't make Gasly good enough. They should have gave Gasly like flying." And I'm like, actually,
that would have been broken.
That would have been broken.
A level of evasion on Gasly would make Gasly even tougher to deal with. I thought that it was too easy to kill, but it's so powerful that you're thankful that it's only 50 and it doesn't have any level of evasion with it, because as the spells continue to get better and better, Gassy's only gonna get better as a card. So that's my mentality is like eventually people are gonna go back. They're gonna like, oh, what's this in Cryptic Nation?
Going back to the Cryptoid Nation, like you said, Fresno Nightcrawler is going to be splashing a lot of multicolor to fix your hand.
Right, because of Fresno's effect too.
2-drop, and you can do the draw.
Right, so any non-cosmic card, you reshuffle it and then draw that same number of cards back into your deck. So even if you have the Cryptic Nation and not your card, or you don't have the card but you have Cryptic Nation, you can easily recycle your deck. And this is also the idea with Cosmic Dark. You end up getting them to splash a lot more things because you discard with what was it, Banshee or something like that? What was the discarding card?
Yeah, this thing. I have a question though, Ethan. When you fatigue Bunnyman or Bat Squatch and they bring it back, is it gonna contract it, or would that not contract it? It's just placing it.
I think it's placing.
Contracting is from the hand.
So
so it's like contract from the Grim House
so
Cemetery.
you're not gonna be able to
So you wouldn't get the contract effect off of the Fresno.
Okay, so you couldn't do that, but it's still such a good 2-drop, bam, recycle my hand, and if I play it from the grave, it comes in with Fleet. So
during your turn, you may fatigue this beastie and place it into your limbo to select another beastie from your limbo with a total aura cost equal to or less than this beastie's total aura cost, and put it into the arena.
Put it
under
your control.
But it's not.
It's not contracted. Okay, so now that's cool, but still, you know,
it doesn't say put it into the arena. It doesn't say put it into your chapter.
No, but you would have to contract because you contract.
You have to
play it. You have to pay it.
To put the orc.
Yeah, contract is playing a card from your chapter down on the board.
So that wouldn't work, but you'd still get the ability to bring out that Fresno back from the dead once they've already dealt with it the first time. That's kind of where Cosmic's multi-deck viability comes in, is its ability to reshuffle, search for mana. And
that's why the necromancy is just better. You shuffle the Fresno Nightcrawler back in the deck. You can make one of the zombie tokens, right? You have 2 accesses to board wipes. Depending on how you play the aura, it's probably going to be hard to hit 5 on 2 different aura types.
Yeah.
But you have 2 to choose from, basically. So you can go heavy Cosmic or you can go heavy Dark, and you still get semi board wipe with the Swamp Priestess. The dark one's going to be way better, and then you try to drop the Priestess, and that's how you can kind of try and finish the game.
Right.
Is, I think, the best.
Zombie Apocalypse.
This probably might be a silly question, but Swamp Priestess is 2 per spellbook too, is right?
No, it's a 1.
Like,
is it? I think it's
a
1.
It's a 1.
Okay, yeah, because like I know Gassy's 2, Wahile's 2, so I wasn't.
Yeah, something she's a 1-0.
Pretty good. I think Wahile's gonna haunt us.
Dude, I think
Seance, I think he's gonna come back.
If you Wahile, you gotta run it with lightning in a bottle. That's what I'm saying. Wahile, lightning, sweep.
I've been testing. I don't know. I've been testing Frost recently, and I've been doing like anti potions in the main, just to like trip up everyone because like I played the Omni. I always say that wrong. Omni Cook.
Yeah.
So I have that in the Healy just to really trip up the Hornets. Like I'm not afraid of it. It just puts everything on a clock for them.
Yeah.
And the anti potion is like if you're going to try to go fast, slow you down with me. Like you're going to play at my speed.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the lightning in a bottles to like spam the Wahile if it really comes down to it.
So I gotta ask, what is everyone gonna kind of run going into this new UFO set? What is everyone most excited playing? I was Cosmic Light. You're doing Stark stuff.
I want to do yokai stuff.
Oh, you want to do yokai stuff?
I'm more excited about yokai.
What are you looking at?
I'm probably gonna do Frost for sure. It's gonna be iced out. Wait, watch for the video to drop.
Oh,
it's gonna be icy.
Cool, Hollow's ice.
I like Flame. I think that Flame Flame was some early BC. Like they need a little bit more robust
two-drop.
people, like a two drop that could really a two and another 3. Because also some of the BCs in Flame are really strong 1-ofs, like Barbecue Sam, Piazza Bird, or Cryptid Nation Piazza Bird. I mean the Headless Coal Miner good. That was the only deck that I was actually afraid of going into Captain Cup because all the beasties don't have 2 traits, so it works around.
I was totally thinking.
Yeah, but the Witch's Lightning covers a lot of that, especially the Spirit one. You can't smack the Spirit one, and then a lot of them are flying, right?
Yeah, they only have 1 trait. I mean, Headless Coal Miner, Spirit, Piazza Bird, Flight.
Yeah, but like you were saying with the Witch's Lightning, you give them the fleet and then you hit them with the Hateful Demise. But it is a 4-drop combo.
Yeah, I used that combo a couple of times, but it was like super late game. And it's like, oh well, they put a power up red on a Phantom card. How do you get rid of it? It's like Witch's Lightning. I think it was just. That's a tough matchup for Lightning because also Headless Coal Miners, the AoE damage kills all the Hornet tokens.
Yeah.
It had explosions destroy, take out. They demolish everything in Lightning.
Facts, everything,
everything,
dude.
People were so afraid of water that they didn't play Flame, and I felt like Flame was a uber really.
Water.
I saw someone running fourth wall too in a match versus one of a really competitive water deck. I think I saw the guy got into the top 32 too, and he got a game off in the flame water matchup despite because of fourth wall. He was able to stall that frog out and get his combo off and just annihilate this guy's board and just smack. Yeah, it was so good, dude. Fire's gonna be fun.
Yeah, my first deck I started in MetaZoo was Fire Lightning, and it was just too complicated for me, and then
at the time, yeah.
I should have just stuck to one and then went back to it. Damn it. Damn it.
Yeah, but we didn't know about the
Flame is good because the beast it has really powerful spells, but it just needs a little bit earlier game, like
it needed
a little bit earlier game, just something, because a lot of people used to play giant salamanders with they used to play Gashy Spirit, and they keep on recurring Morpheus. And I think I think Morpheus was a underperformer during the Caster Cup because there's so many ways to wake up your beasties. But I think that they need an earlier game that is out. I like Exploding Rabbits, but
the fan art card.
I like how they protect themselves.
Well, okay. And here's something I want to bring up too. On day 2 with that Terra format, we had the Volcano, and so and everyone, they already teased Volcano, so everyone who was preparing for it was going, okay, what do we do about Lava Bear, right? Or like that was the trick too, is you didn't want to focus too much on the Terra. It didn't matter as much as I thought it was going to matter. It still did. It I ran one game on the Cosmic kind of Terra set bonus, and it was like free win if you're playing lands. It was disgusting. But
Lightning with Rainforest was like nuts. I was like, "What is Thunderstorm already active?" And you're gonna give Forest. So Wood Devil came out for 100 LP and 50 damage. I was like, "Oh, guys, this is
nuts." I wanted to get on that one so I could have my like 60, 70 health air rods just out there, just like, "What's up, man? How you doing?" Bowser with an eyesight. But I mean, in that Cosmic table, I had the sigil, the alien sigil already active. Oh, you want to say something?
Yeah. I actually just have a question about one of the terrorists on the at the Caster Cup.
Yeah.
They had the cloud thing that you brought up, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a back, like your wall was just like that, and it had the ropes with the colored lights that they were talking about. Like, was that you? Did you, or that you just influenced them, Easton?
No, I wanted to do a cloud wall and everything like that, but I never really. I also saw that they were gonna do like real clouds and stuff like that, and maybe it could have been some level of influence, but I think more so because air rods is such a hallmark in Cosmic. I think that it makes sense, and they really needed to lean in on that during day 2. They needed to lean into every special fourth wall effect was eligible, and I think the real clouds was cool. I think the candy was cool. I think the